Welcome to the Quintin Moore Podcast.
Hi, I'm Quintin. Welcome back to the podcast. I've been talking about friends. Gregory, the theologian, said in response to the question, what's the best thing in life? And he said, friends. I've got a friend named Daniel, and every time I'm around Daniel says, man, I wish I had a friend like you've got. And I stop for a minute, and he goes, I wish I had a friend like Terry. And it's pretty good when you've got friends who like your friends, and friends who recognize that your other friends are really good people. And my life is filled with just really great friends. Terry's a great friend. Daniel's a great friend. Garland's a great friend. Dale's a great friend. Bruce is a great friend. I have great friends. So my sons are great friends. Son-in-laws are great friends. So, but I always, every time I see Daniel, goes, man, I wish I had a friend like you've got. And I want to say, yeah, you've got me, because I'm a friend of a friend, and I've increased in my life because my friends have introduced me to other friends, and this friend has introduced me to that friend. I have a friend who lives in heaven now. His name's Tony, and Tony had a friend whose name was Bergoglio. And because of my friendship with Tony, I became friends with Bergoglio. You might know him as Francis, Pope Francis. He lives in Rome. And because that Tony was friends with Francis and I was friends with Tony, now I'm friends with Francis because we have a mutual friend named Tony. Again, the best thing in life is friends. I have discovered throughout my life that if you're a friend, that friend will introduce you to other friends, and before long you'll feel like you know the whole world because you're willing to be friends with just one person. And with that said, I want to say to you that if you're listening to this, you don't really get to sit at home and go, okay, I want to be that guy's friend, or I want to be that guy's friend, or I want to be that guy's friend. No, this really is a sovereign reality. If you begin to make yourself available, and like I said a couple of weeks ago, if you begin to listen and lean and learn from the people around you, you'll discover in that listening and in that leaning and that learning, you'll discover friends. And when you discover those friends, the other thing you'll realize is that you would never have chosen this, that this is beyond, that there's something supernatural, something mystical, something that's beyond you. I would never have imagined that I would be sitting in a room with Pope Francis one day and would even think that he would know me or I would know him. But because of Tony, that's happened. And so I want you to understand that friendship isn't about making something happen. It's really about making yourself available, about opening yourself up and beginning to look beyond yourself. And when you begin to do that, you'll become a friend here, and that friend will open up here, and there'll be this network, this relationship network that will begin to develop. And you'll discover that in the variety and in the diversity of those friends, you'll discover this wonderful common thread of God. Because where two or three are gathered together, there He is. You see, friends won't always be just like you. Most of the time, when I hear people talking or maybe just being frustrated about the lack of friends, it's because you want them to be like you. You want them to have the same interests as you. You want them to have the same political values as you. You want them to have the same view of the denomination. When real richness is found in the diversity of humanity. It's found when you find out that you love someone who has a completely different opinion than you. And in the middle of the differences of those opinions, you discover the richness of something that's maybe not your point of view. And you begin to see life from another perspective. And life all of a sudden gets bigger and broader. Friends are the best thing in life because they make me see things from somebody else's perspective. And so unity and diversity, friendship in the midst of people that are very, very different. And so as I kind of summarize all of this and kind of bring down, one of the things I'm saying to you is look outside the box. Look beyond your own tribe. Look beyond your own political party. Don't make other people evil. I think one of the poorest things of America today is that we think anybody that's got a different opinion from us is evil. Well, you're never, ever going to have great friends. Because just because someone's got a difference of opinion of you, just because they go to a Catholic church and you go to a Protestant church, or you're a Methodist, you're a Baptist, or you're this stripe or that stripe. No. You've already robbed yourself of the potential of great friends. So friendship is always the work of God in our lives, bringing into our lives people that will deepen us and broaden us and cause us to see outside of ourselves, begin to appreciate things that we would never otherwise appreciated. One of my dear friends, Dr. Leonard Sweet, he is PhD professor for George Fox University, and I think for Drew University. He's written more books than God, And I remember him a long time ago. He lives up in the Northwest, and he got to talking about the environment and how we ought to love the environment and how we ought to take care of the whales or the fish or something. And I remember zoning out, thinking, oh my goodness. And, what's interesting to me is that it wasn't a few weeks later, and I heard this person talking about the environment, and they just thought it was all, and all of a sudden I began to care about the environment because I had a friend named Lynn who cared about the environment. And a moment ago, I didn't see, you develop a care and a compassion for things that you would otherwise have overlooked because God brings into your life someone that has a difference of opinion from you, and you begin to care about what they care about. And when you do, you become a richer, a fuller, a better person. So what's the best thing in life? Friends. I don't think you can know life without a friend. I don't think that any one of us as a single person contains the fullness of everything. But friends, open that up, and we're two or three gathered together, then I find more about life and about God, about myself. And so I just really, really, really want to encourage you. Don't limit who it is that God's trying to bring into your life. Don't have a preconceived idea of how they look and how they talk and how they dress and how they vote and how they worship. Don't do that. Listen to them. Listen to their story. Let them lean into you and you lean into them, and learn from one another. And if you do, that'll broaden your world. It'll deepen your opinion. It'll cause you to see things you've never seen before. And that's really where revelation, where prophetic reality becomes. And quite frankly, it's when our society and our culture will find answers that our political parties cannot find, and that our churches can't discover because they're too divided over their theology. And there's answers in the midst of friends if we'll just listen to one another. So, man, I've had a great time talking about how friends make life sweet. Friends are the best thing in life, and that you think you're an introvert, you're really not. You just need a friend to draw you out a little bit and bring you into a broader and wider space, and that you can move from criticizing to caring, and you can move from condemning to having compassion, and that if we'll look to find friends in people that are different from ourselves, we'll discover answers to the sociological and the cultural and the challenges of this generation. And so the beauty of friendship is that it reveals the beauty of God. And in the beauty of God is found every joy that we as human beings need. So I hope that that these few minutes that we've spent together over these podcasts have been beneficial to you. I'm trying to write about friendships this month. So catch the blog, QuintinMoore.com, catch some of the sermons. Share this with somebody. Maybe listen to it again. Send me a question. In the next weeks, I do some question answers, and we'll pull out a few of your questions, and maybe I'll play around with them a little bit. So from my heart to yours, go out and make new friends. Peace.
Thanks for listening to this episode of the Quintin Moore Podcast. You can connect with Quintin online at QuintinMoore.com or on social media using @BishopQuintin.
Person contains the fullness of everything. But friends, that up, and where two or three are gathered together, then I find more about life and about God, about myself, and about God, about myself. And so I just really, really, really want to encourage you. Don't limit who it is that God's trying to bring into you. A preconceived idea of how they look, they dress, and how. Don't do that. Listen to their story. Lean into you and you lean into them. And if you do, it'll cause you to see things or revelation, where prophetic comes. Quite frankly, it's when our society and our culture will find answers that our political parties cannot find, and that our churches can't discover because they're too divided over their theology. And there's answers in the midst of friends if we'll just listen to one another. Man, I've had a great time talking about how friends make life sweet. Friends are the best thing in life, and that you think you're an introvert, you're really not. You just need a friend to draw you out a little bit and bring you into a broader and wider space, and that you from criticizing to caring, and you can move from condemning. If we're friends in ourselves, answers to the sociological and the cultural and the challenges